All right, the weekend is here. It is Saturday. Getting ready to go work out as soon as I get enough protein in me. I've already had some food. I've had rice, I've had chicken. I'm going to put a little more protein in. I don't have my Fairlife on hand. So this is Val's vegan protein actually, but it has additional aminos to support it. So to make sure I'm covered. Anyhow, you guys may notice, some of you are going to notice, it ain't like everybody watched it, but I had a video talking about that Britney, whatever, I'm trying to watch my language, excuse me, I know I've gotten loose with that lately. If I've offended anybody, I apologize. That Britney Dawn, I had a video talking about that, and I kind of went off on a few tangents, like, around the bend, and it occurred to me that the video was a little bit too, I don't know that it was too critical. I meant what I said for sure, for certain. I didn't mention anybody else by name, but the guy I'm actually referring to, I kind of like the guy. I'm rooting for the guy. Now, I know he does very well on YouTube. I think he does pretty damn well. I don't mean I'm rooting for him in that sense. He doesn't need anybody to root for him. He has a formula that works, and he's got work ethic, man. He puts a lot of work into it, there's no question. However, I like him. I'm rooting for him. I think that there's a good dude down inside of that spirit and that soul. I think he's a good guy at base. I think he's been through a lot of shit. I think he's probably been tormented and he's probably been discounted and everything else. The same shit that most of us have experienced in life. It's affected him differently, and I understand that he's a survivor of abuse and some other things. So, it just chipped away at my conscience that I had put this video up, and I don't want to hurt the guy's feelings. Now, I don't know if it hurt his feelings, didn't hurt his feelings. He's probably, I don't know. He would probably deflect it rather than absorb it and let it hurt his feelings, right? Or even give me that much validation. But the whole point is, it's just not for me. I'm not here to judge people, and I can't tell anybody else what I think is right and what I think is wrong if I'm doing things that I typically would say is wrong. So I had to take the freaking video down. I had to take the video down, man. I'm not going down that road. It's not for me. There's enough people out there. I've said it before. I take pride in trying to see what's good about people and what's good about, what's good about a situation. If there's anything good there, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to discuss. That's what I want to appreciate. I'm not trying to focus on the negative. You know what I mean? Try to stay positive, man. So anyway, having said that, that's why I took the video down. I took the video down because I felt bad about it. And the longer it stayed up, the worse I started to feel about it, because that's not really me. That's not where I want to come from. I get frustrated. I get irritated just like anybody else. And the individual that I was referring to, I believe that he puts some mean shit out there too sometimes at Jerry's expense. At least at Jerry's expense, he definitely has made some things that are kind of mean. They're mean-spirited. So, but two wrongs don't make a right. Anyhow, you guys get the message. You don't agree with me. It is what it is. To thine own self be true. So I had to take it down. However, I did notice some of the comments concerning the Britney Dawn issue or affair before I took it down. One of the remarks was toward what was only $100 she charged people. Nobody's going to write a diet, really write a good diet for $100, the things you'd have to go through, and blasey. Look, who do you think you're telling this to? Who do you think you're telling this to, man? You guys have no idea. Please, some of you have no idea. Yeah. But in some cases she did, and I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse talking about this, but in some cases she did some kind of thing where she wrote people a macro count. That's what they got for $100. They didn't get a whole diet. They got like a macro count. From what I've seen, other people post and show what they got for their money. Now, if somebody paid $100 or 90 some bucks or whatever for this macro count, where all you got was, the 3 macros, and it told you how many grams each macro you should consume in a day. That's what it said. That's what it was. Apparently, it never occurred to me that you could even market that and sell that and people would buy that. I think that's, I don't know, I guess to some degree that is some useful information, but it's not my shtick. It doesn't work for me because I don't diet that way. It's not, I don't do this if it fits your macros thing. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not going to get into that and say that it does not work, okay? Lots of things work for various people to different degrees. All right? But myself, for what I do and what my priorities are, a calorie is certainly not a calorie by any way, shape, or form. It's not. You know, if I were on balls and knuckles or whatever, and I was just trying to maintain my physique, and I had ratcheted down my involvement in training and working out a bit, I can get by as a calorie. Okay? Not saying that it can't do it. It can't be done. A lot of people don't have success with it. You know, just for what I'm after today, right now, you know, no, it doesn't. It's not the most promising, or it's not the best approach for a guy like me, because I'm not trying to lose any more muscle than necessary when I diet. When I diet down, lean down, I'm not trying to lose any muscle. And I typically do not. You know, I don't know how many different versions of me you need to see on YouTube, just because I don't walk around, you know, flexing my abs and showing you my hamstrings all day long and, you know, all this horse shit. You know, I'm not walking around in bikini briefs, you know. Doesn't mean I'm not in condition, just means I think that shit's a little crass if it's not for you. You know, you do, to thine own self be true. You do what's right for you. It's not right for me because I feel that way about it. Anyway, when I put a diet together, and again, anyway, if you find another way and it works for you and you're happy with that and that's what you know and understand and you can wield and it's successful for you, then keep on doing it, man. Keep doing it. But I'm going to tell you this much. If it were all about muscle retention, if it were totally about that priority one, you lean down and I'll lean down and let's see what muscle's left on who. All right? So the way that I do it is when I write a diet, I need a lot of input. I need to know the basic shit like how tall are you, how much do you weigh. I need to see pictures. And I have particular angles I want the pictures from. They're straight on, but I want to see one from the front, one from the back, one from the side. I want to see pictures. And then every 2 weeks, we're going to take a new set of pictures. And, you know, we're going to talk, Skype and shit. More than likely. It's not always necessary, but more than likely. The pictures are necessary. Skype's not always, but most of the time. And we'll see how things go. But the first 2 weeks, I'm looking for particular response and results. I'm looking to achieve within a range. You know, this much of a minimum and hopefully the maximum is, well, I know the maximum is going to exist. It's not going to be more than X, but hopefully not less than Y. And as long as it falls into there at the end of 2 weeks with nothing else, just the diet is the only change, then I know that diet is suitable. That version of that diet that I hit the mark, that's going to work, and then we go from there. You know, but that first 2 weeks is very telling. But what goes into that is I need an accounting of what a person eats for 3 solid days. And the trick is you can't let the fact that you're taking this accounting now, and you have to think about it because you got to write it down. You can't let that influence how you eat. You have to eat as you most normally would eat. The more accurate your accounting is when you give it to me, of typical 3 days worth of eating, how you eat, then the more accurate the output, the diet is going to be. You understand? Because I didn't know what you've been doing, how you've been eating. I want to know how you train. I want to know all kinds of shit. And then I want to know your background, your experiences. I want to know if you're enhanced. I want to know if you're natural, all this shit. You know, your health. And as best as you can relate it to me. And then that's all the input. And then I look at the output. What are you looking like right now with all that? And then, you know, I use all that as my input. And then the output is the diet that I give you. And then we go from there. So yeah, it's much more involved than writing down, you know, looking at a person and taking a shot and saying, oh, I think you have this amount of this, that amount of that, that amount of that, which I'm not saying that can't work. I'm not saying it can't work. What I'm saying is it's not a whole lot of guidance there, but for the way that I do things, for my goals, that's like not even within the scope of what's considerable. It's not even within or any range of consideration that I would approach any kind of dieting in that way, because that if it fits your macros thing, while it may be fine for most people, you know, I'm doing things a certain particular way. I'm trying to retain as much muscle as possible. And so the food matters. What food matters, not just the calories. And most of the time, I'm going to say like 8 out of 10 times, I will increase your daily caloric intake. I do it. I increase your daily intake most of the time, calorically, and you lose weight. And that's in the first 2 weeks. And that's with no cardio. That's with no bullshit going on. You know, now there's people out there, oh, that's not possible. The more any of you want to rise up and say it's not possible, you're showing your own ignorance. Because I know damn right well it's possible. Everybody I've done it with knows it's possible. And there's a whole lot of other guys out there that diet the same way, you know, that are probably too busy doing things and living things to come onto YouTube and talk about it. You know, I'm telling you, it is the most successful way I have found to diet down and retain a maximum amount of the muscle that you have in your body, maybe even gain a pound or 2 or 3 or so near the end. Yeah, and it actually works. But, you know, enhanced or natural. Now, of course, everything is enhanced. It just is what it is. You just process nutrients better. You know, it's just everything works. Your body's just it functions at an enhanced level on all accounts, and that's why, you know, you repair and you recover so much faster. So we can throw more calories in there, we can tweak things, and small adjustments are going to yield bigger results and all kinds of stuff. So there's much more that goes into it for sure. That's true enough. And if people went in there and paid $90 to $100 and they got this counting of 3 macros, well, this many grams of protein, this many grams of carbs, this many grams of fat, thank you very much, that's what you get for your $90. If people knew that's what they were getting, this macro count, which I ain't never heard of this shit, but if people knew that's what they were getting, then they got what they paid for, in that regard. But the people that said they got nothing at all for $100, I know some of you out there commented that $100 isn't even very much money. Well then, you know what, send me $100 and I'll give you nothing for it. We can use it, gorilla with a cause. The things that we do, the rest of the shit that I don't video, you know, like shoving cameras in front of people's faces when they're, you know, at the lowest point in their lives and saying, oh, look at us helping this guy. Look at us helping that person. Look at us trying to straighten this situation out, you know. Oh, look at this guy receiving some guidance and we're mentoring this fellow because he doesn't know how to act. And, you know, we're hoping he missed out on these years where he should have evolved and matured emotionally, psychologically, but we believe we can help him by placing him with the right people. And we go to extremes where people even live with people. You know, so we do all kinds of stuff, a wide array of shit. So if you just think $100 is nothing and you scoff at that, then fuck it, I'm sorry. You know, send Gorilla with Calls $100, make a donation, because we can do a whole lot with it, and you personally will get nothing except good karma and the satisfaction that you contributed to the cause. You know, but like I said a million times, if you really want to contribute to the cause, those of you who may, then just carry yourself that way outside in the world, in your relationships and how you deal with other people, man. You know what I mean? Try and carry it through and live it. Try and live it. Try and walk the path. Try to ease the suffering in the world, even to any extent, none are greater, none are lesser. Even a small thing can be a large thing to the person that's receiving it. A kind word, you know, well-timed kind word, or a word of support, or anything. Anything. Just an offer of friendship. Anyhow, that's that. I just wanted to touch on that briefly. I'm going to put this video up. I got to drink this, let it settle, Then drink my pre-workout stuff, which is right now it's only beetroot powder and sport formula, so it's bare bones minimum. I didn't get shit for a pump yesterday because I got the the vasodilation, but without the carb, man, shit ain't happening like it usually does. But that's okay. I'm still putting on weight. I'm probably too heavy right now. I'm much heavier than I thought I was going to go back up to. It's kind of gotten away from me. I'm closing on 260, and that's like too heavy. But I'm going to switch it up and do a recomp, and I'm going to diet down very soon. It's just that I'm still getting larger. You know, and regaining some of this muscle just feels so good, man. I'm only human, and it gets to my head as well, and I just don't know where to stop. So I'm only going to go, I don't know, maybe another week or two, and then I'm coming down. But you'll watch and see. I'll probably look bigger because, you know, the fat's coming off, but you're not going to see me lose any muscle when I come down. I'll actually look bigger because the delineation is going to be clearer and separation and all that jazz. Anyway, that's it. Let me get to the gym. Got shit to do. Take care of yourselves. Have an awesome weekend. Go work out. And like Steve Kuklo says, make bodybuilding great again.